Alright, well today I'm going to show you Misogyny Mayhem, How Sexism Works by Feminist Frequency. Anita Sarkeesian is the CEO, so that tells you something. This is kind of like a free run because I haven't even watched this yet. I'm just gonna go through the pain once. I mean, it's a 12-minute video. I know it's gonna get claimed, so screw it.
Ladies, you've made it to the lightning round of Misogyny Mayhem. Are you ready?
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so first off, we have a little bit of tranny here, wearing a Zola shirt. Classic.
I hate this game.
Great! Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our scores. Hey, look at that! You all answered the question correctly, so Anita, Carolyn, you each get 80 points! And Ebony, 63 points for you.
I answered the same thing they did. Why do I only get 63?
The game is rigged! It's so rigged.
And let me guess, it's because she's black.
I don't want to play this game. I kept telling everyone I didn't want to play this game.
You don't get to stop playing, and you'll never win because da-da-da-da, it's Misogyny Mayhem, where you don't get to choose the game because the game, it chooses you. Okay,
Yep. I guessed it. Oh yeah, just so you know, she knows her content is trash. The like to dislike bar is like disabled, and comments are disabled. So yeah, says something about her. Can't handle her own heat.
contestants, next question.
Hey, hold up. You know what, Ebony, Carolyn? Let's just leave. Screw this.
That's not how the game works. You can never stop playing, and you can never win.
Man, patriarchy sucks.
You know what really sucks? That she has a production team and Patreons paying her to make this content. Like this right here, I bet she paid somebody like a few $1,000s to make this pixel art. I mean, that's stupid. Why would you waste that much money on something that gets 8,000 views? And this has been up 4 days, mind you.
You know, here at Feminist Frequency, we've had a lot of practice with folks calling us all sorts of horrible things. But the fact is, you don't have to be a woman with a semi-public profile to be attacked with discrimination and gendered insults from random people who seem to think they have a right to your time and attention. Here are some things people will feel totally justified in informing women of their opinions on. Doing things that women aren't supposed to do. Looking a way that women aren't supposed to look. Being too sexy, not being sexy enough. Having sex with that guy, not having sex with that other guy. Playing video games. Wearing tank tops around your middle school principal. Making decisions about your own health.
Please tell me that this is not something that's going to tell middle school kids to wear a tank top around their principal to show that they are a strong and powerful woman. Because I remember back in middle school there was a bit of a group of girls got together and said the dress code was unfair because they couldn't wear shorts that showed half of their ass.
Reporting harassment, not reporting harassment. Having short hair, having long hair. Making jokes on Twitter and not letting men explain them back to you.
Yeah, look, if we get into this, we'll be here
Oh,
all...
yep, starting right up. We got the trainee pulling up, gonna make some good points here. Rocking that Zelda Breath of the Wild shirt. Great game. Just, you know a fake fan when you see one. All trainees like Zelda.
all day. The point is, like the game of Misogyny Mayhem, it doesn't matter if you didn't sign up to play. Exist as a woman in this culture, and like it or not, you're in the game. Subject to having people emphatically police how you do gender, and often harassing or threatening you if you don't conform to restrictive patriarchal notions of who and what a woman should be. More importantly, you can never do well enough in this ludicrous game to win. And of course, those women who conform to cultural standards and expectations are also oppressed by the limiting roles that our culture lays out for them. Like
Shout out to my man Kevin here. He's doing good work. I bet they paid him like a ton of money just to do this. Ugh. Women are so oppressed. Ugh. Like every video they make is about that, and I don't know why people support it. Like people, she had like backers because she's like, it was a while back. She used to do like a big video, like a big long video, but like she had like $40,000 pledged to it. Actually, maybe more than that.
Kevin said, the game is rigged. It's rigged to benefit men as a group in ways that necessitate the subjugation of women as a group.
See,
Alright, bruh, hold up. You are a dude. You
Benefit men as a group.
are a dude. You're hating on your own kind.
In ways that necessitate the subjugation of women as a group.
See, across many societies and throughout much of time, cultures have reinforced false notions about gender that justify the system in which men are given power over women, with the horrifying excuse that it's for our own good. And the most powerful cultural tool for maintaining that fiction is by framing gender myths that's fixed, universal, and our favorite, natural. Myths like women are naturally more emotional than men, while men are
Naturally more emotional is indeed a fact.
naturally more analytical. It is in their nature for women to be caregivers, while
The caregiver part, yes, that is a fact, basically. It's kind of like primal instincts almost.
it is men's nature to be protectors. By their
I mean, testosterone, egos, that's kind of a fact too.
nature, women love salad. Men require steak to live.
But I love
I mean, we all need red meat. You know, I like a salad. I eat a salad every other day.
steak.
Too bad.
Because
Okay. Why do they say stuff like that? It's like, come on, it's food. You are free to eat whatever you want. Just because one person has an opinion, which I mean, like, if you think women should only eat salad and men should only eat red meat, that's not good. But, I mean, I wouldn't classify as everybody thinking that, honestly.
these are beliefs passed down through our families, social...
And we all, don't we all need red meat to survive? Or, like, some, like, little balance in the diet? I mean, I actually can't because I have, like, a syndrome or something. I just eat chicken all the time and, like, the occasional red meat to keep me balanced. That's it.
institutions, art, media, culture, and religion for generations, they've acquired an air of permanence and false objectivity. As a result, these assumptions don't just support misogyny, they cloak it, so that most of us grow up unable to see the imbalance and unable to recognize the injustice of it all. Instead, we believe that this is how human society naturally is and always will be. But that doesn't mean that these assumptions are inherently true. They're not. And the more we allow ourselves to pass these assumptions on unquestioned, the more of a disservice we do to ourselves and to future generations.
Now, I'm not psychic, but I can already hear the counter-arguments from the YouTube yokels who insist that patriarchy is a myth.
Hey, shout out. She's shouting us out. Thanks, Anita.
Misogyny is just jokes, and sexism is somehow women's fault because of...
Okay, first of all, nobody ever says that. Sexism is nobody's fault. I mean, except for the person that's being sexist. I mean, that's just probably the way they view things and bring things up. I mean, that's just a person.
boobs or something.
To be honest, those folks probably aren't even listening right now. They're too busy writing op-eds about the redistribution of sex. They've already decided that women's bodies are just a commodity to be allocated at the discretion of any passing Kevin.
But for the rest of us, it's useful to explain a little bit more about how misogyny and sexism are tools designed to maintain systems of power that systematically...
this is kind of going to be like a little halftime, you know. I'll probably have like a little image put up, you know. We just need a minute to take a relax. Let your mind relax from all this. Okay, halftime's over.
And institutionally disempower women and gender nonconforming folks. So let's start at the top. What is misogyny? And how can I be a misogynist if I love my mother and my dentist is a woman?
I'm glad you asked, Ebony.
So basically she's saying if you do not, like, always talk about how you love women and love women do everything for you, you're basically a misogynist.
Misogyny is the dislike of, contempt for, or inherent prejudice against women based on their gender. Sometimes people get hung up on the fact that misogyny involves hating women, but we're not really talking about the, grr, I really hate that person kind of hate here. We're talking about an often unconscious kind of hatred, a kind that allows you to love individual women while still hating women as a class. Like, you can love your daughter and still think that women shouldn't be mechanics. Think about it. In our society, the worst, most insulting thing that you can call a man is a woman. Words like bitch, pussy, and mangina have...
I don't think anybody... I have never said mangina in an insulting form ever. And yeah, no, I'm not gonna go on that. There's... I don't know what I was gonna say, but... You know, don't really want any backlash.
So much power specifically because women are so degraded in our culture that there's nothing in the entire universe more shameful for a man to be associated with than femaleness or femininity.
And while women suffer far more under patriarchy than men do, it is worth noting that this is one way in which men can also be limited by it. They can have their gender and gender expression policed and be attacked if they don't perform masculinity in a way that helps maintain and reinforce male dominance. But make no mistake, it's women who are truly subjugated. When a man calls another man a pussy, he's not just insulting that individual man, he's insulting all women as well by suggesting that being a woman is the most shameful and insulting thing a person can be.
Okay, you boys coming with a few facts here. So first off, somebody referring to somebody as a woman is just saying they are weak, which is a fact, women are weaker. And they are also saying that they do not have, like, testosterone, I guess, saying, like, they are just gonna back down from every situation, and they won't ever do anything. That's what they're trying to say. Yeah, basically.
Maintaining that male dominance over women is so central to patriarchy that when women make men feel emasculated through even mild humor, the reactions from men are often extremely violent. Hence the adage, men are afraid that women will laugh at them, women are afraid that men will kill them.
Hold on, let me get that frame back there. Yeah, basically, that's embarrassment, a natural emotion everybody has. Women are afraid that men will kill them? I don't think so.
And will kill them.
Okay, but then what's the difference between misogyny and sexism?
Do you really want to get into this?
Do you want Kevin to force us to play another round of Misogyny Mayhem?
Yeah, good point. Well, one way to think about the difference between sexism and misogyny is to think of one as active and the other as passive, or one as the cause and the other as the effect. That is, misogynist beliefs lead to sexist behaviors and policies. And misogyny takes many forms. Sometimes it can be incredibly overt and in your face, like physical abuse or men shouting sexist epithets. But subtle, insidious misogyny, like hiring practices that favor men over qualified women, is at least as common and can do just as much harm.
Scholars like Kate Mann and Moya Bailey are doing crucial work fleshing out the critical distinctions between different types of misogyny, as well as the ways in which other social factors intersect with misogyny, resulting in very different experiences of sexism for, say, black women versus white women. Of course, no matter how diligently we do this work to point out misogyny's existence and dismantle its machinery, there will always be those who dismiss us. It's kind of ridiculous.
One of the most absurd derailing tactics that trolls and harassers use is to suggest that it's impossible for Western feminists to care about, say, horrifically sexist video game characters, while
Why do these people even get involved in video games, though? Like, they don't care about the video games. Anita has said before, like, she was not really a gamer and, like, didn't care about video games back in her younger years. Then she said in another interview she had been gaming, like, her whole life as long as she could remember. And, like,
Simultaneously caring about the safety of kidnapped schoolgirls in Nigeria. Apparently, there's a hard cap on
well,
it.
you see, that's Nigeria. A little bit more of a more radical place than the United States, Canada, UK, places like that. The US, Canada, and the UK are pretty common places. You don't have to worry about none of that.
And how many women you can give a crap about at once. And the reason they resort to absurd tactics like this is because challenging misogyny in Western culture is a threat to them. They don't want to lose the advantages that come from the subjugation of women.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what part of this doesn't make sense for a lot of people? Sometimes women seem invested in keeping sexist systems in place too.
That's because we're all immersed in a patriarchal, misogynist culture from the moment we're born. And as we mentioned earlier, some of the assumptions built into the culture serve to camouflage misogyny. When it's part of the cultural air you breathe every single day, it's hard to see it. And it's very easy to accept it as natural and normal, rather than as an oppressive system created by humans. As Alan G. Johnson writes in his incredible book, The Gender Knot,
There is no escaping misogyny because it's not a personality flaw. It is a part of a patriarchal culture, and we are like the fish swimming in a sea.
It is a personality flaw. It is somebody that just has a bit of a messed up mind. It's not a culture. What the I got an idea what they. I think they're referring to like Trump supporters and people that are on the right as people that are misogynistic culture and stuff. As you can see, I'm not very enthused about this. It's late, and I'm just free roaming it.
Be laced with it, unable to breathe without it passing through our gills. Misogyny infuses into our cells and becomes a part of who we are, because by the time we know enough to reject it, it's already too late.
Also, there are some women who, consciously or unconsciously, leverage misogyny for their own benefit by playing along with sexism, laughing at the sexist jokes, or making sexist comments themselves to be accepted as one of the cool girls. I definitely tried to make my way into the boys' club when I was younger and had to work to unlearn this behavior.
Hey, you know how there are those TV ads that are meant to teach young people that, like, smoking or whatever isn't cool? Maybe we need to start making those for misogyny.
No, that's not what we need. I'm pretty sure smoking that can harm your physical well-being and health is a lot more important than a little bit of misogyny. And little kids don't know what misogyny is. They don't care gender. All they know is when they're little is one's icky and one are friends. So, yeah. I'm just gonna bring this up. So there was like a little bit of I had like a little bit of Twitter beef between somebody that was defending their favorite movie or something. Apparently there's going to be a Superwoman that is a tranny, and I was saying how it's probably not a good idea because there'll be the small percentage of kids that become trannies just to be like their favorite superhero. And I had about 8 or 9 people in my DMs calling me a misogynist, saying I hated trannies and stuff. Actually, I'll put a screenshot on the screen.
Hey Jimmy, aren't girls stupid?
I don't know.
Come on, Jimmy.
Actually, I'll put the screenshot on the end of the video and stuff.
Girls are totally stupid.
I guess.
Whoa! Anti-patriarchy man!
Hey, kids, you don't always have to get along
Enter patriarchy, man. You are a fag. Look at this dude. Look at his hair. Look at this dude's hair.
with your little sister. Girls can be annoying sometimes, just like we boys can. But remember, thinking that all girls are stupid today sets you on a dangerous path to not being able to see women as equal human beings later, when you're an adult. And do you know what that's part of?
Patriarchy?
That's right. And what do we say about the patriarchy?
Equality rules, patriarchy drools.
Thanks, anti-patriarchy man.
I mean, these aren't dude voices. You think with the type of funding that they had, they could hire some male actors.
It needs work.
Anyway, look, we get it. Pushing back against misogyny is really, really tough. The truth is, doing the hard work of recognizing the operation of misogyny and sexism in our lives is scary, frustrating, confusing, and discouraging. When you recognize that social conditioning about gender permeates every aspect of our culture, from the jobs we do to the food we
What
eat,
is
it feels
this? Are they really saying a color, which is a preference? A scent that is particularly like for men, which is kind of normal because it's advertising targeting, and speech stick, which is advertised towards men. Nobody's stopping you from buying these things. Lady speech stick, advertising towards women because it's a scent that women are gonna like. It's just advertising. If a man likes lady stick, he can use some lady stick. Kleenex man size, targeting men. I don't know. I mean, if you want to use some man-sized tissues, get yourself some man-sized tissues. There ain't nothing wrong. And the pencils, I can't even see what that says. All I see is certain colors, which I would say that's a preference too.
overwhelming. We can joke about the ridiculousness of some of the more absurd examples of sexism in our culture, and we definitely...
How is this sexist? I don't understand. They're just comparing a Beats pill to a hot dog. That's all I see there.
laugh when we come across examples of really outdated
Mike Pence.
thinking that seem out of place in our modern world. But what happens when we do more than laugh and joke?
There's a tremendous cost to fighting these battles in earnest, day in and day out. It's so much easier to go with the flow because when you rock the boat, you often become singled out for punishment and harassment, and people might go to frightening lengths to silence you. It's no wonder we often choose to stay in line and tell ourselves that we're going along with patriarchy because we want to, rather than because it's easier or safer. I mean, who wants to be the feminist killjoy ruining video games?
Oh my god, hold on. Let's hit this frame right here. Oh, come on. Let me get that frame. Let me get that frame. Come on. What?
I mean, who wants to be the feminist killjoy ruining video games?
Got that frame. Okay. So, yeah, this is somebody that wants to run video games and kill everything. Yep. Just take a long look at her. She'll not even be talked about in a year. Nobody. No, I take that back. By 2020, nobody be talking about her. Because all this stuff, hopefully, is forgotten about. I bet this channel will even be taken down by then.
Hope you found this video helpful. We'd love it if you shared this episode
Thank
with
you,
your friends.
Anita. Found it very helpful. I'll put that screenshot up now.